AV, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you see Dr. Harper?
Yes.
Or does he need to sit down? Would it be better if he sits down?
We see
Maybe if you scoot a little bit to the left, we can see his whole
Okay,
body.
if you move, how about that?
There you go. That's good.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So this is our provost. How many people in here knew our provost already? There you go. It's a special treat
Did
for you
anybody
today.
raise their hand? I took my glasses off.
Do you guys know what a provost does?
No.
There's another question.
Uh-huh.
So this is our provost. Do you want to?
Sure. It's my name is Vernon Harper. As Jeremy mentioned, I'm the Vice President for Academic Affairs, Chief Academic Officer, and Provost here at the university. One of the things that I like to do, this is strange for me because I like to pace, but I have to stay in this
Well, you
particular spot.
can pace pretty much between here and that lectern.
Oh, okay.
But
I
otherwise,
can
you're
say
going
this,
to go off camera.
this is my limitation.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Here,
Now,
I'm
at
gonna
least
put-
I know my boundaries are.
Dr.
That's all.
Harper, I'm going to put the chair right here.
Yeah, because I'll
There.
trip.
You can walk back and forth in that area.
Oh, okay, very good. All right. All right, so tell me about this class. What is this class about?
Small business.
Okay, and so where are you at in the curriculum right now? Okay. What's your name?
Evan.
Evan? And so you just talked about the different types of businesses? Can you list a couple of them?
Man. Go ahead.
We talk about sole proprietorship, partnership,
okay.
corporation.
Okay, all right. And where is this all leading, do you think? Okay. All right. Well, what do you want to do when you graduate? Do you have an idea yet? All right.
Evan and I are working on a place to give him a job right now.
Okay. All right.
I owe him like resume markups.
All right.
So,
And what's the topic for tonight?
like I said, it's social media marketing.
Social media marketing. Okay. And so
So-
what are the things you're going to touch on?
Building a business page on Facebook rather than a
Okay.
personal page.
Okay.
Doing the same thing on LinkedIn.
Okay.
We'll talk a little bit about how to structure
Okay.
the campaign.
Okay.
So thinking about not just what you put on the advertisement itself, but
Mhm.
who's your target to begin with.
Okay.
Then we'll actually set up an advertising campaign.
Okay.
Everything through clicking pay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll show everybody basically the same information. We're going to do that as an example on Facebook, and then I'll show you where to go to do the same thing. It's a very similar format for LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. Instagram is in large part managed by your Facebook account because they're both owned by the same company.
Okay.
And then I'll give you an assignment to work on. In the last part of class, you work on the assignment.
Okay.
So-
My son should have come to this class because he's done this. He's 14.
Mm-hmm.
And he does edits. I don't know. Does anybody know what edits are? Really short video clips. And so he'll take like a football game and edit it down. He's nodding his head into like 5 seconds. Put music on it, and then put that up on Instagram. And then he sells his service for about $5 a pop.
Cool.
And so then we went into Facebook, and we, then he starts to make ads in Facebook.
Uh-huh.
And to be able to sell his services for doing edits. And he's 14. And so...
Can we hire him?
Huh?
Is he looking for more work?
Sure.
Cool.
Sure. We should
Put him in touch with
pull
us.
up some of his edits. He would love that.
Yeah.
He would love that.
Yeah.
So what else? Does anybody else have an idea of what they want to do when they graduate or anything like that? What's your name?
Joshua.
Okay.
I want to do operations management for Wonderful.
Wonderful company. All right. Very good. And how did you come to that? Do you already work there, intern there or something?
No, I have a couple of family members that work there, and my uncle does a similar job. And we were discussing like the different places that I could work and kind of the way my mind works.
Okay.
It would work really well as an operations manager.
And you think you're particularly lent to operations management because of your knowledge of process flow and workflow and just naturally how your mind
and
works?
the way you interact with people is a lot different, a lot quicker paced, but it's a lot more like informative. You still have to be really empathetic, and you still have to your knowledge is a lot strenuous. Like you have to have a lot more knowledge of the company and the flow of it, and the individuals, because the individuals are the ones that are doing the jobs. So.
Okay. All right. Very good. He's very, very clear, lucid on what he wants to do. Anybody else have a clear sense of where you're going to go when you graduate?
I can call and beat for you because I know what they're thinking about.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Courtney, are you going to do the family business or are you going to go do something else? I forget.
Where's Courtney?
I thought you were Courtney Barnes.
Me? Oh no, Jennifer.
You know, Jennifer, I have two Barneses. I have a Courtney Barnes. I'm sorry, Jennifer Barnes. I have a Courtney Barnes in my BA 4908 class right now, and Jennifer Barnes in here, and it totally threw me for a loop because I actually used Courtney's transcript to show an example in my other class, and I thought it was yours. And then she was like, and I like grade out her name, and I grade because it's a class where we have to do write-ups on like all the courses that you took over the course of your career. It's a capstone course, so you're kind of reflecting on the value of all your coursework. And I thought it was yours, and I pull it up, and she's like, "Hey, I recognize that. That's mine." Damn, all those regulations about students being anonymous right out the window. I thought it was yours in the other class. So Jennifer Barnes, please.
So I want to take over my family business. My mom is the president, and it's a communications company. So right now, I'm a sales assistant, customer service.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of trying to learn every aspect of the company, and then hopefully take it over.
Yeah, I started my career in sales. So I was a comm major way back in the early 90s. And when I graduated I started working as a sales associate selling ad time at the CBS affiliate in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Nice.
And that was one of the really enlightening experiences of my career. It really forces you to organize your day. And so in many sales sorts of roles, it's incumbent upon you to create the business, to create the activity. And so if you sit there and stare at your phone all day, there is no activity. And so it forces you to put you in a posture of, okay, so how do I create activity in this day? And that's a very important principle, not just in sales, but in life. As you guys go and you graduate, you will find yourself in situations that if you just sit on your duff, you will just sit on your duff. And so it requires you to develop that instinct in yourself when nothing is happening to make something happen. Make something happen. And you'll find that some of the most successful people, whether they be in business or in academia or in medicine or in law, have that desire to actually create things happen. And I learned that in part through my experience being a sales rep. Call on someone else. Let's keep doing this.
Jose, where do you feel, how do you feel this week about Wonderful Grimway and public versus private accounting, man?
I think I'm gonna go public.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember that from you wrote that this time, you updated your professional development plan from the summer.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about public accounting instead of private.
I think I want to go public just because I want to earn my CPA license.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we'll see where the road takes me. But I think earning my CPA license really would open the door to a lot more opportunities as to just going maybe straight into private right after graduation.
Cool. There's pluses and minuses to both, man. But you've already had the pluses of the private because you've done it as an internship, so I think it's a good move to go to public for a little while. You get a really, besides being the sales guy for my dad's business, which was my first job after undergrad, my second one was consulting at PricewaterhouseCoopers for 2 years. It was Pricewaterhouse then, before we gobbled up Coopers and Lybrand. And it's such a broad experience. CPA firms usually their product is their people. They don't have good accountants, then they don't have anything. So they really do a good job a lot of times taking care of employees. So you get a broad perspective and pretty good rah-rah cheerleading on the side, depending on the firm. So I think it's a really good experience.
How many of your students are currently in internships?
I don't have that number yet. Normally, Dr. Harper, I keep a list of everybody in the classes, current job goal after graduation, and dream job in life. And then I make a map of all of their faces, and I memorize everybody's names along with the job goals. But I've been a little busy with the Entrepreneurship Center stuff at the beginning of the semester and the clubs, so I don't have everybody memorized yet. But I don't know if you call it an internship or not, but I would say the majority of people in here are working like at least half time while you're going to school. Who in here is not working while you're going to school? Well, you're working as a wrestler, man. Who else? Okay. Yeah, well, that's, otherwise you would be. You and I are talking about finding you a job. Everybody else, anybody not have a job right now? There you go.
There we go. And what's the culminating experience in this class?
In this class, we do implementation projects for actual small businesses.
Okay.
So, I can give you more interesting information on that later.
Sure.
After the class, I don't want to distract from this right now, but
absolutely.
basically everybody in this class, ever since I got here to CSUB, does some kind of project for a local small business. It's got to be a real business. We're not, like, my entrepreneurship class that Sumita Sarma is now teaching.
Yeah.
That's about taking an idea and going to a new company.
Mm-hmm.
This is about delivering value for existing businesses.
Mm.
So everybody in here, like Courtney Jennifer, Jennifer's going to do her project for her family's business. If some people in here don't have a family business, then I know so many small businesses in town, I sort of dole out small businesses to the students. And we do a lot of web development work. We do a lot of like social media marketing projects.
Mm-hmm.
We do a lot of good old-fashioned sales outreach.
Yeah.
Sometimes patent and trademark research. Sometimes grant funding research. Sometimes accounting and financial projections.
Yeah.
It just depends on what the business needs.
Okay.
And everybody in here does a project. So if I get into the court's content for today, I teach two things in here. I teach like sort of the details of starting and managing a small business. So stuff like Evan mentioned, what's the difference between a sole proprietorship and an LLC and an S corp.
Yeah.
But I also, in parallel with that, teach people a toolbox of 8 skills. And we're on skill number 3 this week. So we alternate. 1 week we do a skill, or 2 skills, one on Tuesday, one on Thursday. Yeah. And then the next week we go over some more stuff on the text. Okay. And skill sets text, skill sets text. Once all the skill sets are drilled, then everybody applies those skill sets for the rest of the semester with the local small business.
Okay. Well, I don't want to get you. You mind if I watch for a little bit?
Yeah, please. Sure, that's why you're here. Sure. I just wanted to give you a chance to I don't think anybody in here, correct me if I'm wrong on my description, but Vernon's sort of like the vice president of the university. I mean, there's the president and then the COO. Maybe the chief operating officer is a better description. Dr. Harper's kind of like the chief operating officer of the whole university. Is that fair?
That's pretty much it.
And I don't think any of the students ever know that you do what you do. So I figured it was
Which
cool
is
to
good.
have.
Which is good because they don't notice any of all of the things that we do to make their experience seamless and for them to make classes and for them to be here and for them to graduate on time. They shouldn't really notice. If I do my job, they don't notice.
Well, but it's nice to be noticed.
Yes.
So I wanted them to get a chance to see an important person in this university that you may not know, what he does or that he exists. But Dr. Harper is the manager of all chief operating officer is the best way I could think to put it. It's different because university operations are a little bit different than what you think of in a manufacturing company or something. But he's the chief operating officer of the university. So
I'm just gonna hang
yes,
out
please hang out as long as you want.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Okay, social media marketing. How many people in here have built a business page on Facebook before or on LinkedIn? 1, 2, 3, 4. So most of you have not. I know, how many people in here are not on Facebook whatsoever, from your personal side of life? A couple. Anybody not on Instagram? You guys love Instagram. I just can't dig Instagram yet. I'm working on it, but we're going to do the example using Facebook today because in addition to the fact that I know the platform better, Facebook owns Instagram. I don't know if you guys realize that, but Instagram is part of Facebook. So when you're doing any kind of business advertising on Instagram, you're actually managing it from your Facebook advertising account. So even though we're not doing the example on Instagram today, all the principles pretty much apply to all the major social media platforms. Snapchat's a little bit different, but to me, the four like major pillars, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter, they all function very similarly to what I'm going to show you guys today on about Facebook as an example. So let me pull up the computer. I may or may not have been starting to type my password right there. You guys didn't see it, right? Invariably, with the computer up on the screen, a couple times a semester, I will always type the wrong thing in the wrong box. So everybody can like talk about like internet security. I really trust my students. Otherwise, like I would always make sure to turn the screen off before putting my password and username in, because invariably, at least a couple times a semester, I'll type the password and the username by accident, and then everybody can see it because it's on the screen. Anyway, so Facebook and LinkedIn. They're both very important for social media marketing. They're both very different in like the markets that they address. So in simple terms, LinkedIn is basically a business-to-business platform, and Facebook is a business-to-consumer platform. So if you're trying to sell something, if your target customer is an individual consumer, Facebook's going to be really important to you, and Instagram. Twitter is always relevant. It functions a little bit differently, but if you're selling to consumers, Facebook is going to be really important to you. If you're selling to businesses, LinkedIn is going to be hugely important to you. Both of them are relevant for the other one too, but your main go-to platform is Facebook if it's consumers and LinkedIn if it's businesses. So I'm going to do the example today using Facebook, but like I said, it's very similar on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. Instagram functions a little differently because most of what you do on Instagram is run straight off of your phone rather than on the desktop or laptop, but otherwise the same principles apply. So let me pull up. Oh, I knew I brought this up for a reason. It's a kind of a short deadline, but I wanted to make an announcement to all my classes today. The Fulbright scholarship. Have I told you guys about the Fulbright? No. So I was like the year after undergrad, I was a Fulbright scholar in Germany, in Munich. So the Fulbright program basically pays for you to study. It pays for you to study abroad for a year. It's like your job is to study abroad for a year. So you get a stipend, they pay for your housing, the whole 9 yards. You usually do it right after graduation, although they're expanding the program. So depending on what country you want to go to, sometimes you can do it while you're still in undergrad. There's actually high school programs. There's programs for working professionals. It was founded by a senator named J. William Fulbright out of, I want to say Arkansas. Do you know where Fulbright was from, Dr. Harper?
I don't know where he was from.
Yeah, he was from the South somewhere. But right after the Second World War, he set up this big program that got funding through Congress to basically encourage international exchange. So, and the thought was that if we have a lot of international exchange, then we won't have misunderstandings and things that lead to things like Second World War. So, and it's been a fabulously successful program ever since they founded it in the late 40s, early 50s. So they pay for people to study all over the world and for everybody from all over the world to come and study here. 1 year, sometimes it's even for 3 months. Or traditionally it's been a year, but they've actually got programs that go for 3 months, 6 months, like for working professionals. There's lots of different things. The deadline is in 2 weeks. I just got the information from we just became like an official Fulbright campus. Did you know that? This year. We became an official Fulbright campus this year. And so we're a bit, late getting out of the gates because all this just got finalized. But if anybody's interested, like coordinate with me immediately, and we'll get you into the pipeline by next week so that we have enough time to work on your application before the deadline, which is October 8th. Okay? So you got a little time, but not much. But if anybody's interested in taking advantage of that to like get paid, not just like you pay, but they pay you to be abroad for a year, 6 months, 3 months. It's a great program. It changed my life. So I'm gonna announce it in all my classes. I almost forgot. So that was the first thing. The second thing is Nick.
Does it have to be Germany?
No,
Okay.
any country in the world. The German program is particularly large, and it's co-funded by the German government. Like some countries, it's only America's money that's paying for everything. Other countries chip in their own money and make it even bigger. So Germany has a huge program, but no, you can go to Fiji if you want, man. There's every country in the world the Fulbright program supports those exchanges. Okay?
Yeah.
Other questions? Okay, cool. So moving on. Facebook. I specifically went in and checked my password before this class because Dr. Harper was coming. And I must have updated it recently. Like, I never have to enter my own password on my laptop because it's
Autosave.
Yeah, it's auto-saved. Reset. Bear with me, folks. 8166. Okay, that is super frustrating. Yes.
So let's say you want to create like a social media for all your different businesses.
Uh-huh.
You think it's smart enough to have one email for that, or to have different emails linked up to that?
It all depends on the nature of the business.
Right.
Let me get back to that question in a second, okay? So we're just going to start from scratch rather than using my account right now. So if you want to set up a business page, you can either generate it off of your personal page, or you can go directly here to pages /creation. So and it's going to make me log in again. Hang on a second. Let me call James and actually use my laptop with the HDMI cable instead. James, hey, it's Jeremy. I need your help badly, dude. Thank you. I'll see you in a second. Hey, so Dr. Harper's here, and like when Dr. Harper's here, I have like a huge technological issue. So how do I hook up with the HDMI? Like I think in this room it was different. Didn't we use like the monitor cable before instead of HDMI?
VGA, so we gotta convert it out.
Huh?
You have regular full-size HDMI? Oh, you have VGA around this, so let's do that.
Okay, what do I do?
Go to this cable here. It's got no length on it.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Forgive me, Lancaster. It's gonna get noisy.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Beautiful. Thank you. Okay, so now let's get rid of those pesky login problems. Okay, so there's two different ways you can create a business page. You can actually go down on the left-hand side of your profile, or you can go straight to pages, and what was the last part of the address? Creation, that's it. So everything about advertising on Facebook, and it's a little bit different on LinkedIn because LinkedIn is a completely business platform. So whatever you do on LinkedIn is already set up for business. But you basically can't do any advertising and use all the amazingly powerful marketing features of LinkedIn until you create a business page. So it's great that you have a personal page, but you have to create a business page. So I'm just going to go from scratch and show you guys how to do that. So get started. We're just going to, and this is going to be part of your assignment that you do at the tail end of the class today too. So we're going to go and just create a page called Management 3400 3450 test page, and we'll call it higher education. Just call it education. Continue. And then first thing it's going to do is always going to ask you to upload a profile picture. So I'm going to actually just pull up some default photos that we have for the Entrepreneurship Center available. Let's use the Entrepreneurship Club logo there. So it's actually not the right size, so we got to choose another one. Let's just choose Daniel and James here for now. Okay, so you want to add a logo. You want to add a cover picture. So again, we're just going to go here, choose from photos. And then there's a couple more things that you need to fill out. So you need to make sure to go down to see more here and then go to about and make sure that you've got like category and name and category are already always automatically populated. Eventually you're going to want to create a username for yourself, not like mission critical at the beginning. That'll be the handle that everybody refers to you by eventually, but not mission critical to start with. Give yourself some kind of start date, makes you look more legit. We're just going to put like launched for now, and we'll launch it right now in the middle of class. It's important to give yourself a business type because this actually, I don't know, it enables you for some things for the way Facebook categorizes businesses. So go ahead and give yourself a business type. And then it's important to fill out the mission section. So I'm actually going to go and use our Entrepreneurship Center mission for this. You obviously are going to you're going to want to put in whatever is relevant for you, but let's put that in. You always like, always be careful when copying and pasting things. You know, formatting is notoriously bad when you copy and paste from one place to another. Okay, so we got a mission now. If you scroll down further, make sure you give yourself a phone number, otherwise no one can ever reach you. I know that it's very common for people to like not put their contact information in Facebook. If you're a business in Facebook, if you don't put your contact information, you're never going to hear from any customers. So make sure you got a phone number in there. Make sure you got an email in there. Yep. And put your website. Some businesses may be so small they don't have a website. Eventually, every business, you know, we talked about web development. That was kind of a train wreck, like, as you guys remember, but I'll send you an updated webinar on that. Yes?
There's I forgot what it is, but you can, instead of putting your own phone number, it's through Gmail, and they give you a phone number,
yeah.
So it just goes straight to voicemail.
Yeah, so like Skype does the same thing. There's lots of vendors that'll give you a number that will go wherever you want it to go. But as a business, like, as a customer for various businesses, it drives me nuts when I can't find a phone number. Like, you want to have a phone number and an email address so people can contact you. Anyway, you want to also go down a little bit further to the About section. And I actually suggest that you put your vision in the About. So we haven't really talked about vision and mission yet in this class. It's kind of beyond the scope of this class, but different scholars have different definitions, but like, to me, vision is the biggest level picture. That's like what your mission in life is. Mission is like how you get that done. Like, what do you do specifically to accomplish your vision in life? And then goals are the individual things that you want to accomplish within a certain time frame. So anyway, make sure that the About section is filled out with something. I recommend some kind of broad vision statement, like what your business is about. And then make sure the Story section is filled out. So we're going to let's find a cool new picture for use the Ag speaker panel picture for now. And yeah, you can kind of drag it too. That was a panel of, you guys know who these people are? That's the director of, that's like the financial planning director for Wonderful. No, excuse me, Wonderful. This is actually like senior manager for a big ag supply company in town. This is April Morris, who's the head hiring manager for Grimway. This is me. This is, who was I can't remember the other three names. But these are like big people in the local ag sector that we had in the town last year. Anyway, make sure there's a picture in your Story section. And then put a story there. So I'm going to use for now the two big things that our entrepreneurship club is focused on, which is getting students jobs and building student businesses. So and we'll throw some information about our incubator in there. Copy, paste, publish. Okay, then you're good. Like, there's not a whole lot you got to do, but if you don't fill out those major sections of your profile, like, it looks totally unprofessional. If any customer comes to your business profile and it doesn't have a background picture, a logo, an About section, a story section, a mission section, and contact information. It looks like you just didn't take the time to do it. Like, as from a business point of view, it just looks like you didn't take the time to do it. So make sure those are filled out. Point number 1. Point number 2. As a side note, Dr. Harper, like, I think we're like a similar generation. You remember the movie Spies Like Us?
Who was in it?
Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
They were fake spies.
Yeah.
Remember when they were like hanging out with the Mujahideen in Afghanistan, pretending to be doctors?
Yeah.
And they had to
This is
do
way
it.
past these young people.
I know, like, but
I don't know
I
who
tell
Chevy
this
Chase
joke
is.
at I tell this joke to all my students, and most of them don't know the movie anymore. But I figured you do.
Okay.
So, you remember when they're standing there trying to do this surgery in front of the like head of the Mujahideen tribe, and they're like, the first step in an operation of this kind is, and they have the medical dictionary underneath the table. Shave the patient. Second step in an operation of this kind is, and every time I say first thing, second thing in front of the class, I always think of that movie. I cannot not think of that movie whenever I list off things in the class. First thing, second thing. Anyway.
That's an older reference.
Yeah, it's a good one though. Anyway, so that's the basic stuff you need. Next point. Make sure there's team members in here too. I almost forgot. So add yourself as a team member. So I was incorrect before. In LinkedIn, you can create a business page without actually having a personal page. You have to have a personal page in Facebook in order to create a business page. Everything about Facebook is organized around your personal profile. But all the business activities are actually you have to have a separate page for that. So, this is critical to put team members in there because we're going to get to in a second, like the social network part of this. Like, the thing that's amazing, like I showed you guys with LinkedIn, with the second and third degree contacts and everything, same thing with Facebook. Like, Facebook knows more than you want to know about your life. Like, they can track every place you've ever visited on, like, Facebook. They get some information about other websites you visit if Facebook happens to be open while you're visiting other websites. They can even tell where you go with the GPS on your phone. Like, which is kind of scary, but it's also amazing when it comes to getting information about consumers. So, and then every customer out there, Facebook has all this information on them, and they can categorize them in terms of, okay, these are people that are early technology adopters. These are people who work in insurance companies, all kinds of different stuff because of the browsing habits and the travel habits and everything. So, but to access all that information, you have to connect your personal network. Like, if you're not connected to yourself and the rest of the employees or team members, then you can't leverage anything about your business page. So make sure all your team members are in here because that links you in, literally, no pun intended about LinkedIn, that links you in to the whole rest of the social network, okay? So make sure the team members section is filled out. Then, quick comment, we've all talked about LinkedIn, just to show you quick. Everything I just showed you about Facebook, if you're going to create a LinkedIn business page, you go to work here in the upper right hand corner and scroll down, create company page. And pretty much everything is the same drill as with Facebook, but that's where you have to click in LinkedIn. So back to Facebook now. So I'm not going to do a whole, I want to make sure you guys have some time to work on things in class too. So I'm not going to do too much posting right now, but I cannot underemphasize to you guys how important it is to regularly post content on your page. Like, it has been one of my greatest struggles with the Entrepreneurship Club in the last year to try and find a student on our leadership team who will own posting content every week. Like, if you post content every week, even more than every week, but at least once a week or once every 2 weeks. Like, if you post something and then you wait like 3 months and you post something again, you're not going to get the advantage of the activity that you generate in Facebook. You got to post regularly, if for no other reason than that people won't take you seriously if you don't post regularly. Like, is anybody in here, like, I mean, you guys are social media savvy. If you go to a Facebook page or a website that clearly looks like nobody's done anything with it in like a year, do you take it seriously? Yeah, you gotta post content frequently. Key. So, in addition to the fact that you have to post it frequently, I want to give you guys a couple of tips about how to post content. So, okay, go ahead. Whenever you gotta go. Thank you so much for being here. You'll miss the exercise, though, Dr. Harper. We're actually gonna, at the tail end, we're gonna all do this in class. You sure you don't want to come back and do it with us?
I gotta get my kid out of basketball.
Cool. Later on. Thanks for coming.
See you later.
Okay, so one of the things I've noticed about the problems I have with like club leaders is that I've had like 47 years now to like figure out how to come up with like nifty things to like tell people for advertising and sales and marketing. You guys don't have that same perspective, so I want to give you a couple of like instructions quick about how to regularly and consistently come up with content for your business. Like, always keep in mind what your main goal is. So, in the case of like our class, or I always use the Entrepreneurship Club or the Entrepreneurship Center here as an example. Like, we got two main goals in life: we get students jobs and we build businesses. So everything that we say in our posts should have something to do with one of those two things. So once you know what your goal is, think about what specific offer, like what can you do specifically for people that's going to move that forward. So one example might be, hey, I got like 5 new job postings available for students this week. Here they are. Or I have like a piece of advice that's good for people building their own business. Or here's a brand new funding source that you actually could apply for your business. Here's the criteria that you need to apply for or fill out to get like access to our incubator funding here on campus. Anything that is a concrete piece of actionable information that is related to your goal is something you should post. Okay? Then facts. Like, once you figure out something that people could do associated with your goals, then you need to go find information, like concrete information or facts that support that. So a lot of times with the Entrepreneurship Center, I try to find some kind of success story about a student that got a job, or how many jobs we're talking to, or how many small businesses there are in Kern County, or how much money like students could make over the course of a year in an average job that we put them in. Like, I always try and find some kind of number, some kind of facts to put in the text of the post. And then you got to find some kind of cool image that supports that makes that story pop, you know? Without an image, without a video, the more you can do video content, the more dynamic it is too. So I highly recommend video content whenever possible. I'm still sort of an old school guy that thinks about photos first and then thinks about videos, so I don't have a lot of good video examples here, but the more you can put video in your posts, the better. So let me just come up with one post here quick, and then we'll move on to the next like steps in the lecture. So if we go back to home, Okay, I am home. Why have I not? You guys know why I'm not going back to home? No, usually it has a little like thing that like spins around up there. Posts, there we go. It's just because I don't have any posts yet. So, write a post. So, somebody give me a suggestion based on what I just said about what would be a good thing to post about our class or about our entrepreneurship program. So what are the goals? Get a job or, yep. So based on that, what would be something actionable and like something that people would want to do associated with that?
Like one creating a website.
Okay, creating a website, awesome. So what do we want to tell people about creating a website?
How creating a website can help build your business.
Okay. Do you think do we need to, are we just going to tell people that it's a good idea, or are we going to give them like specific advice? What do you think?
Advice. You're gonna give them advice.
Nick, 1 second.
You wanna do video or picture?
Huh?
A video or picture?
Either one. We'll get to the video or picture in a second. First of all, we got to talk about what we're offering people. Hang on 1 second. Let me go to Nick.
I was just gonna say you could look up how many transactions are done through the internet or on websites, and just put that like 90% of all businesses done on the internet or something.
Good. Like going to like Google and finding a number of some kind that you can quote is good. In the case of our entrepreneurship club, I collect a lot of these numbers, and I would recommend for your business too, like whatever your business is, obsessively collect numbers about your success stories, about the value you deliver for customers, about like all the features and benefits of your products. Like you want for your business, you want to have a huge like folder on your computer of information, stories, statistics, things like that you can pull on about your business. So I keep a lot of that information here in this Entrepreneurship Institute file. So in particular, I'm always updating this little PowerPoint deck about the Entrepreneurship Club. So web and application development is right here. And then this is a description of what the students do. And then a little bit further down, I actually have like statistics on how many website projects the students have done over the last 5 years. So like having this kind of information about your business at your disposal, and if you don't have it, like Nick suggested, just going to Google and finding a number.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you do that while I'm doing this.
Oh, I was doing it for someone else.
That's fine.
Okay.
So creating a website is easier than you think. Over the past 5 years, CSUB Entrepreneurship Club members have done over 137 web development projects, representing over $80,000 in comparable market value. Let us help your business today. So we're going to use this in this case to be focused towards businesses that we want to come and hire students to do more website projects. So that's the text. Now the last thing is we need a picture that's really going to make it pop. So make sure to just go in here, upload photos and video, or even better, video. So do we have any video that talks about websites? Probably not. So I'm thinking I actually don't have a good image in the club folder here about building a website. So let's actually go to Google Images in this case. So when in doubt, go to Google Images for any picture. So building a website. I don't really like any of those. We'll just pick this one for now. We'll save it there on the desktop. And then come back here. Nope, come back here. And upload it from the desktop. And that's it. Like, not hard. Like, one sentence. A title, a sentence, and a picture. That's all you need. And make sure that you do this weekly or daily. Like, it's got to be on a regular rhythm. Don't do it. If you post less than once a month, really, if you post less than once every 2 weeks, you're just not going to get enough value out of your page. So I highly recommend that you post like every week at least. Okay, so I just did one as an example. Let's assume that you've been posting all the time. Is anybody in here familiar with Agorapulse or Hootsuite? Ever heard of Later.com? Okay. I'll send this information to you guys later. It's also recorded in the video. But if you use any of those platforms, Later is actually free. Hootsuite gives you a free trial. Agorapulse is a little more pricey. But basically, you can manage all your social media postings in one location. So you can actually post to all of your pages at the same time. And you can schedule it in advance. So you could actually schedule your posts for your business Facebook page or your LinkedIn page or whatever. You can schedule them for 3 months from now, and then just walk away and like let it post automatically. So I don't think they've come up with a way to have it done completely automatically. So a human being still has to go in and actually type up the content, but once you have it all typed up, you can replicate it to all of your platforms, and you can set it up to automatically post whenever you want. So let me show you quick. We actually use Agorapulse for the Entrepreneurship Club. So let me log into our account here quick. So we won't go into a lot of detail here, but I just want to show you. So you can see here, Facebook page, Instagram page, LinkedIn page. We have like a super cheap version of the software that only allows 3 platforms. So we actually don't have a Twitter page for the club yet. We're going to create one soon, but if we did, we couldn't link it here anyway because it only lets you have 3 for our like cheap price. So anyway, if you go to the publishing calendar here, like you can see the last post. I'm not following my own advice. The last time we posted was the 2nd. That was 3 weeks ago. Like, I hate it. It drives me nuts. I was doing this myself, but even more important in the business world than like posting regularly on your social media is learning how to delegate and learning how to involve other people and empower them rather than doing everything yourself. So I decided like last spring, I need to hand this over to some of the student leaders, and like I just haven't found the right combination of leaders yet. So we're 3 weeks. I used to be doing it every week, but I've decided like I'm not going to go in and do this. I'm going to learn how to inspire people until I figure out how to be a good manager and leader and find somebody to do it. So right now 3 weeks is the best I've done. Back when I was doing it myself, it was every week. But don't follow what this is. Follow what I'm telling you right now. So you want to paste all of that. If you want to do a new post, just, you come in here. You can either do a single post or bulk publishing. So import images. So you can basically select which of your profiles you want to post things to, or you can select all 3, and then you can do all the stuff here. So I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Just suffice it to say, I highly recommend that you get yourself, hang on one second, you get yourself a free account for later.com and use later.com to manage all of your profiles at once. It's going to be much better than having to go into every profile every time. You can still go into individual profiles. So like if something happens, kind of spur of the moment, you want to post it to Instagram, totally cool. But like you're never going to be able to post once a week on a regular professional basis if you're always going in and doing it yourself all the time. Like having the later.com is super helpful. Hang on one second. What was your question?
You said it was called Later?
Yeah, later. Like not earlier, not now, but later. later.com. Yes. They've got the best free product right now. Hootsuite may actually be a little bit better product, but they'll only give you a 30-day trial. Later, you can actually use for free for some time. Yes.
Does it let you post like more than the agro, the other page? You know how you said it only lets you post with 3?
Yes, I believe that actually later gives you 4.
4?
So I'm paying $400 a year to AgoraPulse for I don't know what. Like I should have just gotten a Later account, but I didn't know about Later.com until after I signed the club up for AgoraPulse. So AgoraPulse, which is a company in France, has $420 of our money now, and we're never going to see it again. But when it comes time to renew, I might actually switch over and use Later because it's cheaper. Make sense?
Yeah.
But when I set this up, I didn't know about that. So whatever you use, make sure to use one of these centrally managed software packages. Much better than trying to manage every profile by yourself. Okay, back to the actual lecture. So what was I going to say next? Oh yeah, really fun stuff. So 2 more things, and we'll be done with the lecture. So I don't actually, just to give you guys a heads up, it's a moving target for me doing oh crap, I need to actually at least do attendance because I was going to give you guys points for being here for the assignment. So it's kind of a moving target, how best to teach you this stuff, and I really want to do hands-on, but if we do hands-on in class, then there's not enough time for me to teach it and each of you to do it individually. So I decided to do it slightly differently this week, and I'm gonna, we might get done about 10 minutes early, and then any immediate questions you have, you can ask me, but I actually am gonna give you an assignment to do and send back to me, and I'll give you a little bit of feedback on it. I'm not gonna put any deadline on it, so you can do it later this week, you can do it. I would prefer that you send it to me sooner rather than later, otherwise the semester's gonna go on and you're gonna forget about things. But I may not have time to actually give you feedback until 2 or 3 weeks from now. So, I'm going to give you an assignment to do after class to practice what we just went over in class, but we're not going to have a whole lot of time for actual class activities there. But since that's how I'm doing the grading, make sure to sign up. So if you were here, you get the points for the activity. But I still want you to send me something later so you learn the stuff, okay? Make sense? Okay, cool. So, this is where it really gets exciting. 2 more things. One is leveraging your friends and contacts. And second is actually how to set up an advertising campaign. So those are the last 2 things, and then we'll call it a day. First of all, leveraging your friends and contacts. I can't stress enough how important it is to understand who your customers are, okay? And to understand who your friends are, understand who your contacts are, understand who are the people that you know, and who are the people you're trying to reach with your business, okay? So if I go actually away from this little test page that I'm creating, and I go back to, look, this is me playing saxophone this weekend. That's downtown that's a boxer actually. He's going to be boxing here in 2 weeks. But an MMA fighter out of Fresno. He just happened to walk by on the street. Anyway, where is, there. I'm going to go to the Entrepreneurship Club page, and we go to so here's the people it's in a slightly different place it's a slightly different place than it is in your personal profile. But if you want to see all the friends or followers of your business page, you can come down here. So on the right-hand side here, you've got the various people who are following the page or have liked it in some way. There's all the followers. Here's the likes. There's actually, we're not promoting the page very actively right now. So if we just go to Noah, for example, Noah is a graduate of the program. She's an alum. I think she graduated 2 years ago. So now she has her own real estate business. But going in and understanding the about information, where does she work? Where is she located? Where has she lived before? All the stuff that I don't want to give away for Noah for you guys, because she's not necessarily your friend. She's my contact. But you want to go in and look at everything about your friends and your contacts. So if I go to my own profile, I got a lot more friends and contacts in my own than I do in. So let's think of a good example here. A lot of these people are all in Europe, and here, Brian Gonzalez, that's a good example. Brian is actually he's actually still a student right now. He's one of our entrepreneurs in the Entrepreneurship Club. So he runs a company called Fast Tracks Marketing. Let's see. Oh, he's lived in LA before. Sometimes people put relationship status, sometimes they don't. Useful to know, though. If you go to, his timeline, okay, so this is actually a post about Steve Jobs. This is actually about his dad. So you can actually go through and see what people are interested in, what their lives are like based on what's on their profile. So if you really want to be successful with marketing your business, go through the profiles of your friends and contacts. Go through the profiles of everybody who likes your business page and think about what do they like? Where do they live? How old are they? Are they male? Are they more male or more female? Do they tend to be in relationships or they tend to be single? Do they have kids? That actually usually doesn't say that in the About section of Facebook, but you can tell if somebody has kids just by going through their posts and seeing if they post about their kids or not. Find out what is the profile of your customer, because that's going to help you to market effectively to find new customers, okay? So once you've done all of that sort of strategic thinking about your friends and contacts demographics, this comes back to what I was telling you before. So we'll get to the ad campaign in a second, but ad campaigns in Facebook are targeted based on demographic profiles. So male versus female, age range, but it's also people who are high-tech enthusiasts or people who have jobs in accounting or whatever. It's all kinds of different categories like that, and you need to know what kind of categories do your friends and contacts and customers fit in based on what Facebook tracks. And the way that Facebook tracks this stuff, like I said earlier in the class, is any page, anything you ever click on Facebook, anything you ever do while you're using Facebook, and it's the same thing for LinkedIn and Twitter and Instagram, like the same concept. They track everything. I know it's kind of scary to think about, but they track everything, and it's amazing what you can figure out about somebody just by seeing that, like, they go to like pages about cars a lot, like more times than not. Like somebody's looking for a new car, they go to pages that look at cars a lot. If people like are like constantly making comments or posts about their job, Facebook will figure out what like industry you work in. So like if you tend to like my dad and I always like to go to the Firehouse for wings and beers on Saturday nights. So Facebook probably knows that because Facebook is turned on my phone, and my GPS like recognize function is turned on my phone. So Facebook can tell that I drive to the Firehouse every Saturday night at about this time. Like totally scary, because if they wanted to like set up a hit on me, like they could find exactly where I am at a certain. They could ambush me at like the corner of like White Lane and the 99, and I never knew what was coming. But that's how Facebook determines, or LinkedIn, or any social media network. That's how they determine what categories you fit into. So once you know what that product, what the profile is of your target customers and your friends. Also, you want to think about what businesses are they connected to? What other contacts do they know? So advertising campaigns are great, but the really powerful way to use social media is word of mouth. It's people's recommendations. So it's like me going to, like, here right now. Let me think of an example. Like if I go to Brian's page, and I know Brian, and he's a local entrepreneur, and I say, hey, like, I forward a post to Brian saying, hey, look, man, we're doing this code competition here on campus. Like, can you get the word out to other people so we can get some more coders signed up? Then, because he knows me, he'll say, oh, yeah, I'd love to. And then he'll post it to 5 other people. And because they know him, they'll post it to 5 other people. So the really powerful thing in Facebook marketing is actually the stuff you can do for free. But to complement the stuff you do for free, for really, really cheap, you can do really powerful things on their advertising platform. So last thing I'm going to go over today is how to actually set up an advertisement. In order to do that, so if we go back to the business page again, you can't promote a personal page. All of this only has to do with create. That's why you have to create a business page. So if I go back again, there. So if I go to CSUB Entrepreneurship Club, and I scroll down, you see where it says promote here? You just click on that button. Once you create a business profile, you'll have that button on the left-hand side, promote. And then you can choose all kinds of different things. Boost a post, promote your page, get more leads. Let's just try promote your page, okay? So you're gonna have to put an image in so either a video or an image. So I'm not gonna bother choosing it right now because I already got one set up from the past. You're gonna have to put text in here. Can only be up to 90 characters. So that's not even a like long sentence. 90 characters is a short sentence, not even a full tweet. It's a really short message. So you got 90 characters for your message. You got a video or a picture of some kind. And then you get to all the like targeting and the fun stuff. So if we go to, like, if you're doing a new one, you have to click create new audience, but in my case, I'll go to edit here. So you can choose men or women. So let's just say that we want to target like female entrepreneurs in the area with a new campaign to let them know that they can hire our students. So even though I highly recommend to you guys, even though most of you probably have products that are appeal to everyone, like you need to divide it and conquer when it comes to marketing. So you need to market differently to the 20 to 25-year-old like female like clothing boutique entrepreneurs then you market differently to the like fitness center entrepreneurs that tend to be like 30 to 40-year-old like former male athletes. Like I'm just making up like it's all like, even though you can target lots of different people, it's really important that you focus your advertising campaigns. So go in, choose a specific age range. Don't keep them all the same age. Let's see. I'm going to actually make this down to 25. So we're just going to target basically undergrads. The younger undergrads too. Then go into the locations. You can actually type Bakersfield. You can type Kern County. Like not every location in the world is going to be in there, but most locations, if you just type it in here, you'll get it. So we already got Bakersfield there. And then include people who match. Really important. Click on Browse. And then you'll see here, like it's really hard to actually move this screen sometimes. Browse, and then it says demographics, interests, behaviors. They got all kinds of stuff in here. So you can actually target people just who are college graduates. You could just target everybody who's got an associate's degree. So if you wanted to target everybody who like went to BC but actually never went on to CSUB, you could do that. If you want to focus on people who just make like the top money, you can focus on those. You can focus on people who don't have much money. You can focus on people who are interested in live events. Like it's amazing what you can focus on here. So demographics, interests, behaviors. Each of those has multiple like categories that you can like pull down menus on. I want you, like basically, small tip, but you want your audience to be just on the bottom of the screen here. There's a little indicator that says like how big or small your audience is. In general, you want to target an audience that's just on the left side of the green zone, okay? Like you don't want it to be too big, and you don't really want it to be in the middle of the green. The more specific it is, the more success you're generally going to have. So let me go ahead and cancel that. So you're going to do all that and save it, and then you're going to go like either run the ad continuously, and you can give it a daily budget, or choose when this ad will end, and you can like give it a certain budget and a certain number of days. And then eventually, if you're actually doing this for real, you'd have to put in your payment information, so they got your business credit card or your personal one or whatever. And then if I click promote right now, this is going to start like putting promotions out on various people in Bakersfield's websites or their Facebook pages. So you know how like when you go to Facebook and it'll say like sponsored content instead of like a post from your friend? Like that's from these advertisements. And like that's what it's going to do. So here's what I want you guys to do for your assignment. So let me cancel this, and then there's actually one more thing. I need like 2 more minutes. Sorry. Just to remind you as well. Like if you go like once you've set up an advertisement and you want to manage everything, you click at the top of the page where it says Ad Center, and then you click on All Ads, and you click on Ads Manager. It opens up a whole like dashboard where you can manage everything you ever wanted to manage about your Facebook advertisements. That's beyond the scope of this class today. I just wanted to make sure to tell everybody, once you've set up the advertisement, go click that. Go to Ad Center, All Ads, Ads Manager, and then you can manage everything. So here's what I want you to do for your assignment. It's posted on Blackboard, but I'll send it out to you as well because it's different than our normal routine. So I'll email you with the assignment. Basically, I want you to do what I just did. So I want you to create a business page. I want you to fill it with content, the important content that we talked about today, couple posts, the about information, all that, and then I want you to set up an advertising campaign. Everything up until you click pay. I don't want you to pay, but I want you to do everything up until there as if you were going to do a campaign, and write down all of the information for me. So just a tip for you right now, like you know what you typed in for, I want to target people who are 20 to 30 years old, who work in healthcare and are video game enthusiasts. Like, you may know that, and Facebook knows that because you told Facebook, but there's no way that I know that unless you put it in the assignment and send it to me, okay? So, in the assignment, I basically want you to show me give me a link to the business page that you created, and leave the business page sitting up for a month or so, a couple weeks, so I have time to look at it. Give me a link to the business page, summarize, fill out the content on the business page, and then create an advertising campaign and summarize that campaign for me. So all the description of what I want you to summarize about the campaign is in the document, but last year I had students do this, and nobody told me the demographic targeting. Nobody told me what budget they chose. Nobody told me, what gender. They just, and a lot of them didn't actually send me the picture and the text that they used for the advertisement. They just sent me a link to the page. Link to the page is nice, but I need all the information from the advertisement. If you are creating an ad, realize that nothing in that ad page I can ever see. That's just Facebook, knowing from you, this is how I'm going to place the advertisements. So if you don't summarize that in your document you send me, then I can't give you feedback on what you did, okay? Sorry it took a little long. I'll see you guys on Thursday.